Video now.
Badges, t-shirts, collar shirts, hoodies, pens, letterheads, business cards, envelopes, receipt books, brochures, flyers, posters, calendars, magazines, wedding cards, plastic ID cards, funeral programs, and many more. We also have indoor and outdoor videography, photography, and live streaming services.
That matok mara.
Matok mara. Mama kingwara. Kingwara no miyogi.
WhatsApp us through
Mama ari ke.
21379308 or 0736352224.
Connect with us
on YouTube and Facebook at Blackman TV. We are on TikTok as BTV Kenya. Also Blackman Studios on Facebook as well. Blackman.
Aya, ini ready wade.
Welcome to Blackman Digital Graphics.
Sawa, ini makuru
Offer
wiki.
design, printing and branding services using large format printing, offset and digital printing. Our approach to printing, graphics design and branding is top-notch with quality services including roll-up banners, street banners, teardrops, reflective banners, telescope banners, vehicle branding, road signages, mugs, badges, t-shirts, polo shirts, hoodies, pens, letterheads, business cards, envelopes, receipt books, brochures, flyers, posters, calendars, magazines, wedding cards, plastic ID cards, funeral programs, and many more. We also have indoor and outdoor videography, photography, and live streaming services. Visit us at our Migori Market, Onyinjo Bridge,
4 months
Tendege
kaga
State
bill onge.
offices. Call or WhatsApp us through 0721 379308 or 0736 352224. Connect with us on YouTube and Facebook at Blackman TV. We are on TikTok as BTV Kenya and also Blackman Studios on Facebook as well. Blackman Digital Graphics, quality you can trust. Welcome to Blackman Digital Graphics. We offer design, printing and branding services using large format printing, offset and digital printing. Our approach to printing, graphics design and branding is top-notch with quality services including roll-up banners, street banners, teardrops, reflective banners, telescope banners, vehicle branding, road signages, mugs, badges, t-shirts, polo shirts, hoodies, pens, letterheads, business cards, envelopes, receipt books, brochures, flyers, posters,
Hear me okay?
calendars, magazines, wedding cards, plastic ID cards, funeral programs.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Vibrant Morning here in BTV. Now, Vibrant Morning brings you what is in the People Daily newspaper. That is a brief of what is in the newspaper, and we believe you will have the opportunity to read more comprehensively. Remember, People Daily newspaper is a free newspaper. You reach to your closest vendor, sorry for that, and pick a copy and read more comprehensively. Now, this morning we have a lot that we are having in store for you. We give you brief of what is in the People Daily newspaper, but you to take more time and read more comprehensively. I'm your host Gagi Isaiah, and with me is Lennox Odede, my co-host. Lennox, say hi to the to our viewers and at least a word.
Hi to our viewers.
Okay, thank you so much. I know Lennox has a lot in store that we will be looking into. But before we get to that, remember, you can subscribe to BTV. That's on YouTube. Visit BTV Kenya. Subscribe, leave a comment, let us know where we are reaching you from. You can also visit us on Facebook page, Blackman TV. You can also reach us there. Please grab a copy and read more comprehensively as you subscribe. You can also reach us on TikTok and Instagram, BTV Kenya. Now, there's a lot that is happening. But before we get into what is in the People Daily newspaper, let me ask Mr. Lennox, what's happening in Migori? What has been happening in Migori? And what do you have for us from Migori County, Migori Town?
Yes, a lot have really happened in Migori County. You know, we just concluded ODM party grassroots election. No, we've not yet concluded, but we just concluded the constituency level ODM grassroots elections, and already we are expecting UDA party to conduct its grassroots elections, and just as always, we are seeing some echoes of war from UDA party sections
within
Migori County, and one thing we've seen, or rather we saw, a section of UDA members claimed that there is a list that they have seen already, and the list is associated to Malala and some officials in Migori County who are also members of the UDA party, and they claimed that without the list that they won't participate in that elections. And again, they were claiming that most of them were displaced from their area of polling station. Like someone is supposed to be doing election at Masaba, jina lake linapatikana Nyamosense, Komosoko, so such like things. And we just hope the UDA elections will be a peaceful one, because we just hope the UDA election will be a peaceful one. We don't expect to see whatever we saw during the ODM grassroots elections, you know, and that is it. And again, in Migori County, we expect the UDA elections to take place tomorrow. That is on 12th of April. So let's expect a peace. And again, there's an Harambe, the NAT officials, or rather NAT, Kenya National Union of Teachers. They have got an Harambe in stadium, and we expect Governor Wanga to be in attendance, Governor Ochilo, and the NAT Secretary General Collins Oyu to be in attendance. So let's hope for the best.
Oh, that is only what is in the county?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Lennox, for giving us a brief of what is taking place in Migori County. Now, in a little while, we will be heading to Migori Stadium, so that we also give you much of what is taking place there. Remember, many dignitaries, waheshimiwas will be present there, including Dr. Ochila Yako will be there, and many others. So it is going to be a fun drive of its own kind, and we expect Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga Nyasuna also to be there, and many other leaders. So please keep tuned to BTV, as we'll be bringing you all that is happening from the stadium. Now, we want to begin this on looking at what is on the cover page of the People Daily newspaper.
Yeah.
That is the big story. Inside the echoes that rattled Ruto. Now that is the big story.
The echoes
in
of
unprecedented case of state paranoia and suppression of freedom, brave Butere girls were gagged from speaking truth to power in play that we serialize. That story is on page 14 and 15. But before we get into this story, remember, this is a story that has been there.
Yeah.
Malala was arrested. The students did not get the opportunity to perform.
They had the opportunity to perform, but they decided not to perform.
They decided not to perform.
Yeah.
And actually they walked out.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they are, but we believe they are back at home. Now, I want the producer, with the help of the director, to kind of put a video to let us hear what Malala is saying before we dive into what is there. Thank you so much. As you put that on the screen for our viewers to see and also have a glance and leave a comment.
All right, Cleophas Malala, they're addressing. Let's listen in.
Tukufu ambao mko hapa leo hii ni siku ya kihistoria. Siku ya kihistoria kwa sababu tukizo ambalo tumeona leo ni tukizo ambalo hatujailiona tangu tupate uhuru sisi kama taifa. Mnavyojua vizuri sana, mimi ni mwandishi wa michezo ya kuigiza. Mchezo huu wa Echoes of Doom ni mchezo wangu wa 82 tangu nizaliwe. Nimeandika michezo 82 na mchezo huu umeaktiwa na shule ya msingi ya Butere Girls. Umefuzu kutoka sub county, ilikuwa nambari 1, county ikawa nambari 1, na katika regionals wale adjudicators waliipatia max 90 na hawakuwa na tashwishi yote na mchezo huu. Yule mkubwa wa shule aliniambia kwamba wale watoto wamesema kwamba imesemekana kwamba hawawezi enda kwenye nationals kwa sababu mchezo huo ni wa siasa na unaharibia viongozi fulani jina na hautaruhusiwa kuperform. Nikamuuliza unatoa wapi masuala kama haya na ilhali ni haki ya wanafunzi kuperform? Akaniambia kwamba orders from the above. Vile nilifuatilia kupitia Regional Director of Education, akaniambia yeye amepata orders kutoka State House kwamba mchezo huu usiperformiwe mahali popote. That is when nilichukua mawakili wangu wakili Ken Chesa na wakili Busiega Edgar kuenda kotini kuhakikisha kwamba wamehakikisha mchezo huu umefanyika. Koti ilipeana order na tumekuja nayo jana vile tumefika kule, wamekataza watoto kufanya rehearsal yoyote. Wamefungiwa kwa chumba kimoja na wakaambiwa wasitoke pale, chakula wanaletewa pale na wasijaribu hata kupitia mistari ya play hiyo. Mimi mwenyewe nikafungiwa nje, nikaambiwa siwezi ona watoto. Polisi karibu 50 walikuja wakanishika, wakanileta hapa kwenye Nakuru.
And the clip that we have just played is in courtesy of the network given by the video clip that we have just played is courtesy of
Citizen TV,
Standard network, NTV, not really NTV, but KTN. Sorry for that. Now the video that we have played is courtesy from KTN, and we acknowledge it belongs to them, and we just played it in order to help us discuss what we are about to discuss. Now, in your opinion, Lennox, what do you think in totality about this play? Malala involved and many other things happened. It is a story that has actually hit the headline.
The play was good. The play was good, and I support Malala for maybe wanting, or he want the society to get enlightened. But I feel the way he wanted to do it was something that they will never forget, because the kind of torture the miners went through is some being tear gassed, being woke up very early in the morning to go and perform, being denied the audience to listen or to watch whatever they're doing. And again, it is something that is really shocking. So I think Cleophas Malala would have used maybe university students, because when it comes to drama, even university students are involved. So Malala would have used the university students to perform, how do we call it? Malala would have used university students to at least express that message, or rather to send that message to Kenyans, because first of all, those are ladies, and ladies or other girls are very vulnerable, and when you expose them to such kind of things, in as much as they did not perform, that is one thing that showed that maybe they have undergone some serious torture, or rather mental torture in the drama festivals, and it is something very shocking. So Malala did a very good thing, but I think the channel he followed was a bit wrong.
Okay, just on that note, I think in my opinion, I disagree totally with Malala when it comes to using pupils.
Yeah.
And the first question I will ask, and I will ask the public outside there who are in support of the children, who are the students who are in support of Malala, is this the big question they should ask Malala. In that school, does he have a child who goes to that school? That's number one. We know very well that at some point Malala and Ruto were good friends.
Yeah.
And the president, they were good friends.
Very good friends.
Things changed.
And he was the Secretary General for the UDA party.
And I believe he's
very
still.
Powerful.
I believe he's still. Because from what you've just said, there are two lists according to the grassroots elections which are supposed to be held. There are two lists that ODM, UDA leadership in Migori are battling to see how they're going to conduct the elections. One is from Malala. Now, the big question is, why do you have to engage the pupils? And if you read at, I don't know whether you are open to get the script that is written. I have the script. It is purely politics. Purely politics. And I believe it is not right for Malala to engage other people's children in the name of student to champion his political agenda.
Yeah.
That is not right. We have a lot of platforms. Well, we have so many people who are acting movies.
Yeah.
Why didn't he take it there? Why now it comes out? And you see, politicians are very funny.
Yeah, they are very funny people.
They are very funny. Now you hear from his statement that he's saying anapongeza Raila for speaking, of which Raila is one of the people that
he really hated
something. He hated, talked nasty things about. You see there, they are standing with
Wamalwa,
Eugene Wamalwa, whom he had spoken nasty things about, whom he disagreed with totally during their political seasons. But you see, this is now bringing them together. Why? Because they have, in totality, I disagree with what happened. You can do a play, but you can't do something that is actually targeting the government, targeting the top leadership of the nation, and you use children to push and to champion for your agenda.
You know, this
that is not right.
This also comes at a time when most Kenyans have not healed from the so-called Gen Z protest.
Yes.
Because what happened in the Gen Z protest, most youths were killed. If you can remember, we had the likes of Rex Masai. Most youths were killed, and it happened that they were being used by some politicians for their political ambitions. And up to now, most of the families that lost their loved ones, up to now, they are forgotten. We have one here at I think ukiteremka ukielekea Nyasare, I think there was one victim who was promised heavens. The mother was promised heavens while while the son was being buried, on that fateful day when the son was being buried, the mother was promised heavens by these politicians. And up to now, nothing has happened. You see, so some of the parents who are affected and most families who are affected by the Gen Z protest, they have never healed. And then here comes Malala again, is using children to, we are not saying the play is wrong, we are not saying but we only want you, our viewer, to understand that Malala exposed minors, people who do not even have IDs to vote. He exposed them to something that was, he endangered their lives. Yes. Because when you see a minor being tear gassed, because what did he expect? You know, once the state denied them the opportunity to play, to perform the play, and then the court comes in and says that now you have to perform. You know, that was a red flag. They call it a red flag already. That was a red flag already. So it was supposed to send a message that maybe things might be chaotic.
And looking at this, you see, this thing has been moving spontaneously. Yeah. Because my big question is, the students were barred from performing. That's the first thing. They took this matter to the court. Now, at the stage when they were barred to play this, who barred them? That's number one.
The state.
Who went to court?
Malala and his lawyers.
Malala went to court with his lawyers. Yeah. Meaning, this person is very categorical with what he's doing.
Yeah.
He wants to settle scores. Now, they have been allowed to perform. He's coming in. Why? He said he has written a lot of play. Why?
This one was the 82nd one.
Yes. Why is it that in all those ones he had written, there's never been issues? Why this one?
But
we have to ask some questions, and serious questions. Why this particular one?
But again, the government also did use a lot of force on students, on minors. We also have to blame the government for using a lot of force on minors. If in any case, you know, the state have the machineries, maybe they were even supposed to give orders for the ladies to be taken back to school. It would have been understandable, but using force and tear gassing ladies and all that, again, that was so wrong of the government of the day.
It may be wrong, it is wrong, we condemn that, but again, I'm taking my stand.
Yeah, to Malala.
And this one, I'm not backing down. Malala, what you did was wrong. In the first place, your child is not even in that school. You are exposing other people's children to politics, and you know what comes, the results of the politics, and you insist, you go to court, you challenge the play, you challenge the decisions of the state in the court of law, and you are granted the opportunity to proceed. And this also I will condemn. I will not actually support the Minister of Education. I think this place, before they move, before they are played, the vetting needs to be done. This we also condemn. You cannot put lives of other people's children in danger to settle your political scores. That is wrong, and we condemn that. I condemn that. I can never support such a thing. And I say, what happened? The state were a bit lenient to the pupils. I mean, to the student. It should have been ruthless on them. The government should have been ruthless on them. You can't actually come out in the name of doing a play that has been written by somebody who is championing for his political cause and to play to the public and use our children. We are not in support of that. Even if people are going to brand me with any brand, I'm ready to take that brand, but it is wrong. We cannot accept that. There are so many avenues that Balala would have used. Would have used the National Theatre. There are people there. There are film industries. Take your play there. Don't involve the minors in politics and to gain mileage in political scene. That we condemn and we don't support that. So that is part of what is there in the People Daily newspaper, and we see that. And on page 2 there is a story that has been there for some time, and it was in limelight, and people like the story about Michelle Obama. There have been some rumors that there is a divorce that was brewing between the former First Lady and the former President Barack Obama, that it was going to play out, that they were going to divorce. But we see from the story, we have seen that the former First Lady sat down with actress Sophia Bush for an episode of her podcast Work in Progress, and she said there's nothing like that. So I think the public also should be much careful on what
they consume, or what?
Yes, what they consume. You don't have to be very careful with the fake news.
Yeah. Police looking for 6 men who defiled a miner in Bomet. Same page 2.
Yeah, that's a story by Zado Kangira.
Why must the police involve himself in such? Not police, but why must 6 adult men involve themselves in such a barbaric act?
You see, I think something is wrong in our society, and it has to be corrected. And for us to correct what's happening in our society, it begins with us. It begins with me. Because recently in Migori, if I'm not wrong, 2 to 3 weeks ago, in Magoto, there was this young man who actually defiled a miner and that
killed her.
Killed the miner after defiling the miner. And here we also see in Bomet. I think people need to be sensitized. People need to be talked to. There need to be meetings held to help to educate our community, to help them out, because if we don't, this is going to happen. Now it is in Bomet. And how many of such cases are not reported? A lot of these cases which are not reported. You can read that police in Bomet are looking for 6 men who defiled a 14-year-old girl in Tans on Tuesday night. So where are they? We condemn such act. You can grab a copy and read more comprehensively. And we move to
page 3.
To page 3.
Eldoret Cemetery, where dead are not let to rest in peace.
A concern over neglect and growing encroachment of historical site as a result of mushrooming residential houses and commercial buildings. So people are now moving, the stories by Wycliffe Kipsang. People are now moving to build houses.
Like how do you build a house on, is it on or in?
On a grave.
On a grave.
On top of it.
You know, it reminds me at one point in time, my aunt was one of my aunts was erecting a house. Is it an house or a house?
A house.
Yes. So while people were digging the foundation, suddenly walifika kwa mifupa.
What happened?
You know, and it happened that the aunt was also there. So he said, "No, stop right there. Let's move." Tusonge chini kidogo. Hiyo nyumba hiyo siwezi jenga juu ya mtu alikufa. Sasa those people have to waanze tena fresh. Unajua kupima nyumba, new foundation yote and all that.
But you see, the dead are dead. They are resting.
Yes, so you have to let someone rest in peace. Not you don't have to erect a house on top of this person. Yeah.
You see,
in fact, you can only erect a house if you don't know. Yeah, but the moment you know that someone was buried here, you have to songa kidogo.
You know, it is a belief. It is just
an African belief.
It is an African belief.
But again, I think erecting a house on top of a grave is just erecting a shelter to the dead.
Giving the dead shelter. It happens. Look at today. You see, like those who live around the urban areas.
Yeah, the urban areas are really...
Those who live around Migori town. You see, before, almost these places were people living in these places as homes.
Yeah.
And you happen to buy a piece of land where somebody are dead and has been buried there.
Yeah.
You are not going all there to dig all the remains and dump them somewhere else. You just build a house, you move on.
Yeah.
I walk around and I see in my village people buying land. I know there's a place I used to pass when I was in Form 1 going home.
Yeah.
And I was told that the members of that family had died and they were buried there. And I used to be scared that if you pass there at night, you'll hear people talking from the grave. But as we speak now, the buildings are there. Actually, somebody has built their rental houses. And people are living in those rental houses. So, we expect this actually, especially to those who are living close to urban centers.
Yes.
Yeah, because people are living in those areas, they have been buried. So, we just pray that things will happen. We have given you much of the story on page 4 about Echoes of War.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the big story that is now trending everywhere. And yeah, the viewers, my producers placed it on the screen. You can see there the Echoes of War. You find time, please find time and read the play. Read the play well. You'll see that there. And we also see, we move to page 6, positions body in middle of drug distribution patient tussle. You can also read that. Indian manufacturer, Kenyan distributor, struck state agency to fight over 45 medical products. A story by George Kibaso. Please grab a copy and read that. And also
there's a story down there.
Yes.
So that house was 350 million shillings.
Yes.
So that person just lost 350 million shillings. How much he will be compensated?
Who will compensate?
The county government of Mombasa.
Why?
Because they demolished your building.
Why was the building demolished?
Because it was sinking.
Good. So they just helped the county government of Mombasa just helped the
people, the residents.
Yeah, the residents. So this is calling for the contractors and the architectures and all that are involved. When we do work, we should make sure that the
but
work...
they are blaming it on a genie. I don't know, there's a woman with 6 fingers and 6 toes.
You see,
they are blaming it on genie.
Yeah, these are just myths.
On demons.
I believe these are just myths. I had a friend who had 6 fingers.
In one side of the hand or both?
Yeah, in one side of the hand.
But this woman had 6, both sides and both sides of the toes, of the legs.
Now did you
6
see the
toes.
6 fingers?
I did not, but I read. So even if you take me to court, I cannot give out evidence, but I read.
I will
and funny enough, I read it on social media.
Things happen. I love kids. I've also seen a guy with 6 toes on both legs.
Yeah.
So big that the person had 6 fingers.
And 6 toes.
6 toes.
So in total he had 24.
So if he comes and says
24 phalanges,
if you say I cast this building to sink, it will start sinking.
No, she was being associated to which anyway. Let's.
We are just actually the building has cost a lot,
and we are very happy that they saved lives.
Yes, and again at the same time we are very sad that the owner of the building has really lost a lot of money.
We are very sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
But you know, life is more important than anything else.
Yes.
You know, like in Kisii, is it in, how do you call this town? Suneka.
Yes.
What we experienced in Suneka was the worst thing, because the owner of the house was told, you know, this thing is not right. Please let us demolish the house, or rather hii sehemu imefika imetosha, wacha kuweka mizigo tena juu. Yalizidi kujenga.
But something bad happened.
It really happened.
Yeah, so
we are very happy with the county government of Mombasa.
And this will be seen across all the counties. As things will go on. You walk around Migori town, you hear loud music everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you think about the loud music? Because we see in page 7, Sakaja cracks down on loud music over pollution.
Yeah,
and health concerns.
It's a pollution because you know, most of the time, each and every person has the kind of music he prefers. And now, like me myself, I love rumba, you know. So when you're passing through town, huyu ameweka genge, huyu ameweka ohangla, huyu ameweka hip hop, so you walk in town and then your eardrum is like it is just full of nonsense. You see? So that is a very bold move, because even if you move here in town, it's just noise all over.
Especially on Fridays.
Especially on Friday, and then especially on these electronic shops, they make a lot of noise. You know, when it comes to sehemu za burudani, at least they have that soundproof. Soundproof. They tame the sound. But when you pass through these other shops, you will just lose your mind.
But take a scenario. Have you lived? Have you had a neighbor?
Who
plays noise and loud music.
I had one. I had one, but alihama juicy. And then another lady. It's very funny when a lady makes a lot of noise with the hoofer, with hoofer. So there's another lady who also joined us, and especially on weekends, anawekanga hiyo yake yote. So the other neighbor mwenye alihama alikuwa anaweka yake yote, and you know he loved Oangla. So you can imagine, with you love rumba and you love it low, cool.
No
so inabidi unazima yako. And you know he was he was coming from the third door after my door,
and you still get the noise.
And then akishafungua muziki anafungua mlango.
So
he's entertaining every member of the plot.
In that case, what do you do with that noise?
So I just let him, because that is his house, he pays rent. But at times when you know the nature of my job, at sometimes it forces me to do some voiceovers and all that. So when I want to do some voiceovers, I just go and tell him nipunguzie kwa dakika 5 tu. Nifanye kazi. So once I'm done, I just go back and tell him I'm done.
But you see, at least you
have to respect him.
That neighbor was good.
Yeah.
You know, I lived when I used to live in Nairobi. There was a time I was on the 2nd floor, and I was on the 3rd floor, and the neighbor was on the second floor, and we were just right above each other, right above
perpendicularly located.
My friend.
No, vertically.
vertically
Located.
located. Just I was just right on top of his house. The noise that was coming from that
So
house.
slab ulikuwa unatembea kwa floor lakini unasikia slab ikidance.
That's right, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. So, I don't know how people. I love music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do play a contained music.
Yeah.
Not noisy music.
Yeah. By the way, the best and the sweetest music is a contained music.
Yes. Just play it cool.
Yeah.
The Nairobians are in trouble. I don't know whether
That's a very good move, Bwana.
Yeah, polluting the environment. You can also check that. And also we see this may be our second last story, that is state unveils plans for grade 10 amid shortage of teachers. Now class is pioneer cohort of CBC system introduced in 2017 when government initiated phase change over from old 844 education curriculum. Story by Mercy Mwai. Now we see the government is moving and saying we have a plan, and the plan has been unveiled for grade 10 pupils. Now the big question is, we have shortage of teachers. What is going to happen? Like especially in the remote areas, you find that the whole junior secondary school, only 3 teachers, at most 3 teachers or 2 teachers, and the learning areas are vast. Yeah.
No, yes, Omea.
So let us hope that things are going to be well. Let me move to page 10. I know you love page 10.
Yeah.
Yes. Take all the quotes of the day. Today you are taking all the quotes of the day.
Na zimepotea wapi tena?
The
first one as I look for it.
Okay. The first one is from Kisumu Senator Tom Ojienda. The condition.
No, no, that's a professor.
I'm reading what is written here, Professor Tom.
You just yes, good.
Okay.
Add a professor.
Okay. The quote I'm reading is from Kisumu Senator Professor Tom Ojienda.
Good.
Okay.
You have to respect
the
papers.
condition of our roads is not just an inconvenience. It is a direct threat to socio-economic fabrics of Kisumu County. Farmers are unable to reach market, and local business are suffering as a result of poor roads. That's what Tom Ojienda is saying. So then there's a need for improvement of the roads. Now also, let me take on this one again from Nairobi Environment Chief Officer Geoffrey Mosiria. We are cracking down on shops within the CBD that play loud music. The noise pollution from this establishment has made it difficult for other business owners to operate effectively.
Good. Let me take businessman Irshad Sumra. We sought and received official clearance for the additional 4 floors on the demolished Mombasa building through proper channels. The expansion was lawful and approved. So this guy still wanted to add another floor to the building. Right. So, okay, tool of the day.
Yes.
We see a person believed to be William Ruto and another person believed to Raila Amolo Odinga. And then there's a phone there, they are discussing about the phone, and the phone is named Gen Z because most Gen Z, most of the time they are on their phones. So Ruto is like, we need these Gen Zs in 2027, and Raila is telling him, you know what, it is fragile, handle it with care. So
the Gen Zs are very fragile.
Yeah, they are very fragile. And again, there is the Pajandiko there, Levi Obonyo. You will get to say that Rigiji's lamentations may be herald a new start. So hiyo pia kama wewe ni mtu ambaye una penda kusoma Pajandiko, yani maoni ya mwandishi, wale watu ambao wanapenda kuandika maoni yao pale. Yes, you can get it.
Okay, let us take on the thought of the day.
Generally speaking, the errors in religion are dangerous. Those in philosophy are only ridiculous. David Hume. Yes.
David Hume.
Oh, him.
Generally speaking,
The errors in religion
religious
are dangerous. Yes. And those in philosophy are ridiculous. So something ridiculous is something funny, right?
It's something that something funny, something that kind of you can't trace to find the right course it's taking.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is true, you know. Recently you saw that police officer who was I don't know how things happened, then suddenly he got buried in Rongo without burial permit and all that. So he belonged to a religion which is believed to be a cult. You know, that's where a religion is so dangerous.
No, but again, looking at
that's where Karl Marx
comes in, your favorite.
yeah, well, that wasn't my favorite. That's where Karl Marx came in and said that religion is the opium of the mind. Let's do whatever for the oppressed. A sigh of relief for the oppressed. Yes.
But look at this one.
Yes.
Speaking generally, the errors in religion
Are dangerous.
Now, I want you to take, even if you put the policeman aside,
Yeah.
what was witnessed in Shakahola.
Yeah.
That is just an error
In religion.
in religion.
Yeah, someone is telling you you need to fast. Once you die, you will go to heaven direct.
It is dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Yes.
Yes, very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yes.
If you make an error, or if you know, some people take advantage of religion and do things which are not right.
Yeah.
They just insert something very simple, you see, and they deviate from the religion. Kidogo tu, it seems like it's inside, but he had deviated long time ago. He had erred. If you follow those errors,
You are
very
dead.
dangerous. Very dangerous. From errors from religion is what result into cult and occultism. Yeah, so they are built from religion.
And those in philosophy?
Philosophy, they say, what it talks about philosophy is those in philosophy
Only ridiculous.
Like you see, I like this part.
Yeah.
Look at what is happening today, yesterday and today, about the play that is, has brought a lot of mixed reactions.
Yeah.
It is just a philosophy. It is very ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, in my first class of philosophy, the lecturer just got in and said, you know, in this class, there is no God, and God does not exist. And almost everybody laughed and said, what is wrong with this person? What is wrong with this person? And he insisted. So, in our first exams, Kat ilikuja, you know, philosophy is a bit funny. Kat ilikuja, and he told us, in these exams, you cannot steal whether you do what. So he gave us the card and left. So watu kaanza kuangalia simu nini, una Google upati.
There's nothing.
But someone tells you, using a case scenario, describe how fallacy is in the society and all that. So he wants you to give the story. Ili tushinda. But we fumbled. So when it came to main exams, the first question, the compulsory one, inakuanga 30 marks ama 15 marks?
15. Inakuanga 15 marks.
The compulsory question.
Yes.
Yeah, but the compulsory side inakuanga
30
around
marks.
30 marks.
Yes.
Yes. So he said, he asked us the question, God does not exist. Prove
That God does not exist.
God does not exist, and this is compulsory 30 marks, not optional.
Not optional.
Not optional. It is compulsory 30 marks. God does not exist. Proof. And remember, you come from a religious background. Like I came from a staunch Adventist family, SDA family, and you just know how those Adventist families, they are very strict when it comes to Adventism.
Adventism. You are introducing new vocabulary. Okay. Now, before we wind up, I want to leave you with a say or a thought. It is when the river dries, you discover the home of the ugliest crocodile. For the viewers, this is for you. And for the Kenyans, this is for you. It is when the river dries, you discover the home of the ugliest crocodile. I learned that from one of my lecturers.
Oh,
Yes.
so
So I post it to you. Thank you so much. Can we wind up the show?
thank you so much. It's a very beautiful. Is it Friday?
Friday, yes.
Imeandaje haraka? Anyway, it's a very beautiful Friday when we will meet in our local areas.
Dan, say Dan.
Then remember, you come there, but you do it responsibly. For us who will go to church tomorrow, please remember to pray for us, and we will pray for you, and tell God that we are sinners. He should have mercy on us. For those of you who will go to church on Sunday, like Isaiah Gagi, please tell God we are sinners. He should have mercy on us, because He's a merciful God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amodede.
Okay, thank you so much, Lennox. But I also want to tell you, my dear viewers, don't be going to the dens. Before you get to the den, please browse and get the meaning of the word a den. I implore you to come to church. Come, we get better things. Otherwise, thank you so much for keeping tuned to BTV. Let us meet on Monday, the same time, the same place. We discuss much more. And remember,
Have a
we
lovely
will bring you
weekend.
what's happening in Migori Stadium today. Have a lovely Friday and a lovely weekend.
And many more. We also have indoor and outdoor videography, photography, and live streaming services. Visit us at our Migori Market, Onyinjo Bridge, Tiendege Stage offices. Call or WhatsApp us through 0721 379308 or 0736 3522